Hi there, beautiful souls watching. Thank you and welcome. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So, this one is about the lady in yellow. Sounds mysterious, and it was to me because I never heard of that before. When I came to Brazil the first time, of course, my Brazilian friends wanted to show me their favorite landmarks. And of course, they brought me to this mountain opposite from the mountain where the big statue in Rio de Janeiro of Jeshua is standing. And when I saw that from the opposite hill, because there you have the best view, it just struck me like lightning. I was kind of hit by a brick, you know. That gesture of the Cristo Redentor, the statue of Jeshua in Rio de Janeiro, that's a living God. You know, he's opening up his arms, standing like that. And it's more or less the message, come all. And I thought, wow, there's a living God. And we all in the Western world, back in Germany, in our churches, we have this figure hanging like a dead on the cross, you know. That's a dead God. We are worshipping a dead God. And that was kind of a pivotal moment for me and my connection to Brazil. And I could feel that the whole earth there has a different energy. I mean, I can compare that to Germany, and I felt a difference. My God. The whole country seems very spiritual, very open, very creative. And I just feel this spiritual energy just like coming out of the soil. And I really love Brazil, so that was interesting. And my friends took me to a hiking tour through the jungle, and we were walking and hiking with a group, several people. And it happened that, of course, when you're hiking, you're talking with your neighbor or the one before or after you. So there was a lot of talking in this wonderful, calm nature. Bap, 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 all the people were talking. And then suddenly something happened that changed the whole atmosphere, and I noticed it. Don't know whether the others noticed it, but for me it was another pivotal moment because we were coming close to a little, how do you call that? Where some water came out of the earth. It was just a very little water, but it became a little river later on. So it was a place where lore has it that the nymphs are, because they are water beings and they are connected to fountains and water and rivers and all that. And while we were approaching that, the guide of the tour was leading us to there, and we could all refill our water bottles there. Suddenly, coming close to this little water fountain, the people stopped talking, and I got a feeling as if I'm walking on sacred ground. Something felt very holy to me. And when everybody kind of bowed down in front of the water to refill the water bottle, to me that was like a namaste greeting. You bow and acknowledge that there is something else, some kind of energy or force or being with that little water fountain. And it was so interesting that the people from themselves had stopped talking because more or less they felt something as well. And I enjoyed the quietness that was at this moment where everybody was bowing down and refilling his water bottle. So I already got the idea of the nymphs or the water beings and the water spirits. And then a little bit later on, we came to a waterfall, and everybody was excited and was running towards it, you know. And there were a lot of stones in the water, and they were with overgrown with moss. So it was kind of a slippery thing, and you had to be careful. And these excited people from the hiking group just running towards the waterfall, some of them, they really fell down, and one even hurt himself on a stone, so there was a little bit of blood dropping from his finger. And when I came to the scene of the waterfall, I suddenly saw a lady in yellow hovering over the water in front of the waterfall. She looked to me like an African queen with wonderful black skin, and the yellow dress was kind of shining like gold or like the sun. And she had this little I don't know how you call it. I think it's kind of a bandana, a piece of cloth that's around her head, and there's a nod here in front. And she smiled at me and looked at me and was all in this long yellow dress hovering above the water. And I acknowledged her and I greeted her with my favorite namaste. I greet the light inside of you. And I asked her for allowance to enter her place, the waterfall and the water. And she nodded and was very happy that I acknowledged her and didn't run into the water, disrespecting more or less her realm like the others did. And I went in there and I did not hurt myself and nothing happened. It was a wonderful experience. And I asked her, of course, for her name. And the only thing that I got, you know, with my kind of German brain, and German language is different, and even the native Indio languages like Quechua or whatever are far off from this German language construct. So the only thing I got from her name was it was a name with unusual many X's in it. So in Germany we have nearly no words with an X in it, in the middle or the beginning or the end. And I could only grasp there are two X's in her name, and that was the only thing I got. And then later on, I told one of my Brazilian friends what I had perceived at the waterfall, the lady in yellow, and she started smiling and said, "Oh, that's Oxxum, written Oxxum." And she's kind of, well, the goddess of water, like an African elder they brought with them, more or less, or that came with them to the New World, to South America. And she was quite well known. I didn't know anything about her before. And my Brazilian friends told me that there are many different religions in Brazil, and one is called Candomblé, and they know about the lady in yellow, about Oxum and the other elders that are all more or less African gods or goddesses or elders, or however you want to call that, spirit beings. So I was right, and that was funny because I didn't know anything about that before. And after they explained, my friends explained to me who that was, and I got a little instruction from them. Then it all made sense, and I was, I was pleased to have met that lady in yellow. And then years and years passed, and suddenly she came back. That was funny. I was at my dentist, the new dentist I had, and the funny thing was, when I came again this year, she had a new assistant. Suddenly, the woman from before was gone, and there was a young man, and he was kind of African. He had dark skin and was a very handsome guy and very friendly and sympathetic and so on. And while he treated my teeth, cleaning and so on, I was lying in this desk, no, in this chair from the dentist, with an open mouth, and you cannot do or say anything. And the lady in yellow appeared, and she was showing me something, a gesture. She was reaching out the hand and showing me a white flower in her hand that looked like the perfume flower frangipani with 5 leaves, or like a wax flower. And I didn't know the meaning of that, and I just told her, I cannot do anything. I'm sitting here at the dentist. And she said, tell this man later on what you saw, that you saw me, and the wax flower, the white flower, is for him. Oh my God, how to do that? And not to be the crazy one in the dentist chair. So after the treatment was over, I just turned to the man and I asked him, where are you from? And he told me that he's from Zanzibar, I think, but it was kind of still the African culture. And I asked him, do you still have connections with your ancestors, your roots, the African spirituality and so on? And he nodded. So that was kind of okay. And I said, I'm a medium, and while I was sitting here on this chair, I had kind of a vision. A lady in yellow appeared, and she showed me something for you. She is handing you in her open hand a white flower. And as far as I know, because I encountered her in Brazil, that is Oxum, one of the Candomblé elders from the African spiritual roots. And he started laughing and said, yes, I know her. My auntie is in contact with her. My auntie is also a spiritualist, and she already told me that the lady in yellow, Oshum, is making contact with me. And it's kind of an invitation to walk a spiritual path, to be handed a white flower. The white color is, a new beginning. That's pureness, freshness, cleanness, innocence. So that's a starting point, more or less. That's what the white flower is representing. And he was content with that and said, oh, thank you. That's funny to get a message like that from the dentist chair, from a patient. And I was kind of amused too. And then I went back and had in row, funnily enough, 2 other clients. I was having a reading or a medium session with them on the internet via Skype online. And there was a woman, a very nice woman, which I had a session with. And again, the lady in yellow, Oshum, appeared and did the same thing, showing a white flower in her open hand. And when I started cautiously with that woman in the reading, well, I'm getting a lady in yellow for you. And I described what I saw. And I said, I think it's Oshum. I know her by that name from Brazil. And she's got to do with water, which is also a symbol for soul and emotion, the water. And then she just turned around her computer to give me another view to her cupboard aside from the place where she was talking to me on the internet. And there was a little figurine in yellow dress, and she said, "She's with me, and I know her, and she's kind of my guide," something like that. So I got that right as well, although I was already doubting, can it be she's here the second time and doing the same thing with the white flower in the hand? You know, that's ego and the mind, the intellect interfering. Because, well, the Elohim told me one thing. They said, there is no coincidence. What you humans call coincidence is just the mechanisms of the divine matrix working and trying to communicate with you in a different code, the soul code. And with your mental, as a person, an ego, you don't get that. And you think it's, what a coincidence! Again, the lady in yellow. No, it is not. She knows whom she wants to contact, and she knows the ways how to. And because I encountered her, I was the right candidate to give some messages to clients. That was funny for me. And the second one was a young man, also with colored skin, but living in Germany, an American. And he also wanted a reading. And in that reading as well, she appeared, the lady in yellow, Oxxum again, and doing the same thing again, showing the white flower in the open hand as an invitation to walk the spiritual path. And he also knew her because he had African roots as well, and he had just journeyed back home for the Christmas season, and had renewed the contact with his family in Africa and liked it very much. And that was kind of the reference point for the yellow lady to show up again and remind him that there's a spiritual path waiting for him. And he was already, by contacting me and wanting to know something about, the whole theme. What's my spiritual path? What is my mission? And all that. So he was also going already in the right direction. But I'd like to add something about the spiritual path and our mission and purpose and things like that. Because I started like that as well. I wanted to know what's my purpose. That's why I went to India and had my near-death experience that more or less told me, go back and live your life and get busy with the knowledge of the Rosicrucians, because that's about how to walk the path back to the light, to source. And well, you think you want to know your purpose, but you have to find it out yourself. The spiritual world only is giving hints, maybe giving you a direction. That's got a lot to do with your passion, what you love and what you like to do. Sometimes even as a small kid, you're already told what you want to do. I wanted to be an author when I was a child. I said that. And I did not become an author, although I wrote 2 books that nobody wanted to print here in Germany, but doesn't matter. The speaking word is also kind of authorship, what I'm doing right now. So it's about finding out what makes you happy, what is your passion, and follow that. And if you're into music or dancing or drawing or whatever, everything creative is the best connection to your purpose and to your soul. Because that's the realm where there are no obligations like in the ego realm, and you don't have to do this and that and follow this and that and so on. And you get a good idea from the hints you get by, well, these so-called coincidences, which in reality are not coincidences, but a way that spirit tries to get your attention and to show you something. So I'd like to leave you with that. And today there's a very special blessing coming as well from Oxxum, the lady in yellow, caring for the waters, the soul, and our emotions. So be blessed in the name of Oxxum, and blessings, love, and light to you on your soul path. Dear souls, thank you for watching. Bye.